Hi everyone, this is Jenny again, and in this video we'll continue to explore tools that you can use to conduct an interactive online lesson. So in my previous videos, I've already explained that while you're using your video conferencing tool to conduct your online lesson, at the same time, you can share your screen and use another external app to make your lesson more interactive. For some of the external app or tool, students or you may need more than one devices, such as Kahoot, because students need to look at your shared screen for the questions, and then they may need another device to answer it with a Kahoot app or a Kahoot platform with the web browser. But for the following app that I'm going to introduce, technically students only need one device, and it will be better to have a laptop for the lesson, because for the following app, students only need a web browser to use the app. So if students are using a laptop, they can open the video conferencing tool to listen to your lecture, but at the same time, open another web browser to use this app. And the app that I'm going to introduce is Nearpod. You may have heard about it, or if you're using it, that would be perfect. But I would say Nearpod is a great tool to use when you conduct an online lesson and you want to make sure your students are at the same pace with you, and you can make sure they're paying attention to you, because inside there are a lot of interactive activities that you can add on top of your presentation slides. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the basic functions of Nearpod and how to create a Nearpod lesson. Hopefully, after this Easter break, you can use this app to conduct your online lesson. Of course, the first thing that you need to do is to sign up an account. You can sign up an account online, or if you have an app on your tablet or mobile phone, you can simply sign up an account with the app in your phone or tablet. Of course, the easiest way would be signing up an account with Google or with Office 365. If you sign up with a Google account, Nearpod will ask for your permission for it to access your Google Drive files, because you can add your Google Drive files to your Nearpod slides. So all you need to do is click Allow if you don't mind, agree to the terms and conditions, and then click the sign up button. Then you're in, and then you will see this page. This is the main page or home page of the app or the platform online of Nearpod. You can see several buttons here, including My Library, Explore, Join, Create, and Reports. Basically, if you click My Library, you'll see all the Nearpod lessons that you've created inside. And if you click Explore, you can see other Nearpod lessons designed by other teachers and shared with the public. And if you click Join, you can join a Nearpod lesson. So if you are attending a workshop, a PD workshop, and the speakers give you a Nearpod course code, and then you can join with the course code. And of course, you can create your own Nearpod lesson by clicking the Create button. And after the lesson, if you want to see your students' performance, especially if they have done some activities, you can click Reports to look at the statistics. So these are the buttons that you can click after you open your Nearpod app or go to the Nearpod platform. And I'm sure you can try to explore it yourself. And in my remaining of the video, I'll just show you how to create a Nearpod lesson. And for all other functions, yeah, you can do it. Explore it yourself. So now let's move to take a look and see how to create a Nearpod lesson. So right now, my picture is showing you that if I click the Create button with my iPad app, the Nearpod app, it will redirect me to the browser to create the content. But of course, if you click Create online with a web browser, you wouldn't be redirected to another place. So you can immediately create your Nearpod lesson. So this is a page that you can see once you click the button Create. And there are two main functions to add content to your Nearpod lesson. Number one is you can upload an existing file, a PNG photo file, image file, we can say, a PPT, a PowerPoint slides, or a PDF file. And this system, Nearpod, only supports these 3 types of files. So for example, if you've already made a PowerPoint slide before and you would just want to add some more interactive activities in between slides, so you can first upload your PPT first, and then you add other activities in between slides afterwards. And if you don't want to upload an existing file, you want to create your lessons from scratch, all you need to do is just click the button add slide, and then you can add different presentation slides or add web content or add activities to it. And on top of add slide, you can also see untitled lesson settings. So these are the buttons that you can set the setting for your Nearpod lesson, like giving more information about your Nearpod lesson, including the title, the grade, the subject area, etc. So you have to fill in this box before you can save your Nearpod lesson. So make sure you input all the settings before you save the Nearpod lesson. If not, it will still be auto-saved, but it will not be published, meaning that you cannot use the lesson, but it will be auto-saved to your account. So as I've just said, if you want to upload files, the system only supports PNG, PPT, and PDF. And here you can see that I'm actually uploading files from my iPad. So these are the buttons that you will see and the interface that you will see if you're using an app to upload a file. And it will look different from your web browser version. If you're using a web browser to create your lesson, and all you need to do is just drag and drop files to the web browser, then you can add files easily. But if you're using an app like me, so you need to choose photos from your photo library of your iPad or tablet, or you can click browse for some more files that are saved in your iCloud or Google Drive or other drives. So this is how it's like after you add an existing PPT to the platform. And if you want to rearrange the order, all you need to do is drag and drop. Click it and drag it to the position that you want to reorder the slides. Alright, so just now I've shown you how you can upload files, and now I'm going to show you how you can insert new slides, new activity to the Nearpod lesson. So if you want to start from scratch to build your lesson, you can click add content. You can simply add a slide so that you can add audio, text, photo, images, etc. to your slide, like building your PowerPoint slides, Google slides, or Keynote slides. Apart from slides, you can also use other external apps, including the Nearpod 3D object, the simulation, field trip, BBC video, Sway from Microsoft, slideshow, video, audio, PDF, a live Twitter stream. I'm not going to show all these to you one by one, but I'm sure once you click this button, you can follow the very simple and clear instruction to add your content to it. But here are 2 things I want to recommend in the content that Nearpod has. That would be the Nearpod 3D object or the field trip. So there are some readily made 3D objects that you can add to your slides if you're talking about these, but they're mainly for science topic. And field trip, search for a place, and then you can go through this place with VR with your students when you conduct your Nearpod lesson. Like this, if I've add a field trip to, this one should be St. John Cathedral. So this is what your student can see, and then they can look around like 360 image or with a VR lens. This one is good, especially if you want to ask students to write something or describe something or use the language that you've just taught. So that's why I would like to recommend field trip to you. Add this content to your Nearpod lesson to make it more interesting. Okay, so apart from adding content, slides, you can also add a web browser, the web content, a whole website to your Nearpod as well for students to study. So after you've added your content or using any web content, then you can add any activity in between slides or at the end of your presentation. Here are the activities that you can add to the Nearpod lessons, including a normal multiple choice quiz, open-ended question, matching, collaboration, drawing, polling, fill in the blanks. But they also integrate Flipgrid to the Nearpod platform. So I'm going to quickly show you how to add all these activities to the Nearpod lesson. So this is time to climb. Basically, it's multiple choice questions, but you can add more than one question to the whole activity. So for example, after you have covered certain points, you want to make sure your students are listening to you and make sure they understand what you say, you can set several multiple choice questions. And inside, you can see all these buttons and functions. Basically, you input your questions, you can add a reference image, you can add text or image to the answer, you can add more than one answers, you can add more choices, the answer choices. You on the right top corner, you can add time, you can duplicate, you can delete the question, etc., etc. And at the bottom, you can add more than one question as well. So you can see this is how it looks like when you add more than one question to it. And after you finish adding all these questions and then confirming all the correct answers, then just click Save. Then you can see open-ended question. You can add open-ended question to your Nearpod lesson. For example, you want to do a quick discussion and want to ask for your class feedback after you cover certain points, then you can add an open-ended question to it. You can even enable students to submit audio recordings as well. And if you want to set a certain time limit for students to finish answering the question, you can add time to your question as well. Then you will see matching pairs. For example, if you have taught certain vocabulary, you want them to match words definition, photos to the words, then you can immediately add this activity to your slide, your lesson. And yes, you can enter text or add an image for the pairing. Just now I said you can actually add Flipgrid to your Nearpod lesson. So if you add a Flipgrid link there, students should be able to access the Flipgrid platform so that they can immediately record videos and share opinions to the Flipgrid platform, and then it can be shown in your Nearpod lesson as well. And there is this Draw It function. Yes, you can freely let your student draw and express their ideas and unleash their creativity, but also you can add any other background image so the student can draw on the picture. For example, this is like a table, a chart, or any graphic organizer that you can think of. You can use another app to prepare this photo first, a graphic organizer first, and then you add the image to your Nearpod, and then you insert a question so that student can draw on this graphic organizer to share their view as well. So let's say if you're teaching readings and you want to check their understanding, you want them to do compare and contrast, comparison, stuff like that, then you can use a graphic organizer. And you can use this Draw It function in the Nearpod. So apart from using open-ended question to ask for students' feedback, you can also add this Collaborate tool. It's a little bit like Padlet. So you can add a topic so students can freely share their views with a memo sticker. A memo note. Then the whole class can see everyone's idea. There's also this fill in the blanks function, so it's very easy. All you need to do is just input the whole paragraph or the text that you want to do the fill in the blanks. Make sure you have the answer inside as well. You don't need to use underscore or leave blank. You just copy the whole passage or paragraph into this box first, and then click Next. Then the system will ask you to choose the blanks that you want it to be. So you just need to click the word, and then the system will recognize it and then make it a blank. And then click Done, and then you can set the question. So this is how a fill in the blank question looks like. And students don't need to type the answer. All they need to do is just drag and drop to the right position. It may look silly or too easy, but it actually all depends on how you set this question. For example, if you want to make it a little bit more challenging, it can be a listening task. So on your previous slide, it may be an audio or video, and then you ask them to pay attention to it. And then afterwards, you add this fill in the blank and ask them to fill in the content and see how much they could listen or understand from the audio or video. So it really all depends on how you set this question. And at the end, there is this memory test. It's more like a fun game, so that student can match and pair the stuff, whether they remember the position. So basically, it's a fun game here. So basically, these are all the activities, content that you can add to your Nearpod lesson. And when everything is done, you just need to click Save and Exit. And make sure you input the title for your Nearpod lesson and complete all the settings. Then that's it. Your Nearpod lesson will be ready. And the next step is how you are going to share the lesson with the students. So when your Nearpod lesson is ready, once you go to your My Library and then you will see your Nearpod lesson, you click to it, you will see this page. And of course, you can share, you can edit, you can delete, but most importantly, there are two buttons at a bottom right corner. One is Student Paste, one is Live Lesson. So if you want to use this Nearpod lesson with your students at the same pace, then you will click Live Lesson. So while you're conducting your lesson online with a video conferencing tool, you can open another browser and start a live lesson with Nearpod. Then you can share this code to your students, so students can go to their app and then input this code, or you can share this link, copy the link with them, or add this link to Google Classroom. So in these different means, students can get the link and access your live lesson. Then you can do a live lesson. One good thing about Nearpod is that when you conduct this live lesson, your student screen will be at the same pace as your presentation slide. So technically, you're controlling their screen. And now on this page, you can see that in the Nearpod lesson, at the bottom, there is like a participant icon, and then you can see whether you show students' name as well. So you can see whether student has exited the Nearpod app, like they closed their Nearpod app, and you can see it in the participants. So you can always check your students' attendance and also attention throughout the live lesson. And one more function that I want to share with you is that while you're doing your live lesson with your student, you can actually add activity. So let's say all of a sudden you see students have certain opinion and you want to continue to discuss, so you can that is out of your expectation that you haven't prepared into your Nearpod slides. So you can always add activities in your lesson during your lesson and immediately ask for students instant feedback. And another method of sharing this Nearpod lesson with the student is to click Student Paste. So if you click Student Paste, it's not like you're using it in your live lesson, in your online lesson. You're giving this whole slides as a learning tool for students to study it at home, like a self-learning material. So you can see that you can share it on social media, social networking site. You can share a link, copy the link and send it through WhatsApp or other communication tools, or you can embed it to your Google Sites or any other platform, or you can share this to your Google Classroom as well. So when students click to it, they can study the whole Nearpod lesson at their own pace. So let's do a very quick summary why we should use a Nearpod lesson during your online lesson. Apart from being very interactive and that you can add activities and content to the slides, Nearpod can also help you manage your classroom virtually. So the good thing about using Nearpod is student management. Because if you're conducting live lesson with Nearpod, you're sort of controlling students' screen. What students can see on their screen is what you're presenting with your Nearpod app. So at the same time, there are activities. So whether students are paying attention and can complete all the activities, you can see it immediately with your Nearpod app. So these are the good things that I like about Nearpod and when you use it online. So that's it for a very basic introduction of what Nearpod is and what you can do with it and how you create a Nearpod lesson. And if you have any question, please feel free to email me and ask.